All right, good morning everybody. Chief Meteorologist Matt Farrell here with you on the live stream. Been a relatively active morning so far today. So our line of thunderstorms that you can see on your radar is still moving across the area. Came in just around 7 a.m. Came in with not a lot of fanfare, actually. We saw storms move in, basically just heavy rain, thunder, and lightning, your run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. Now, we did get a little bit more active in the last, say, 2 hours. As about 9:45, we did see a thunderstorm in Falls County, just around Rosebud. Did have some radar-indicated rotation. Now, we haven't had a confirmed tornado report from that. We did have one firefighter report saying he saw a little bit of rotation in that cell, but again, no reports of a tornado with that, just again, some radar indicated rotation. That was allowed, it was actually canceled around 10:15. So what I want to do is I just want to give you a quick update here. I'm going to pull my laptop cart into the screen so I can stay in the screen with you. And we're just going to take a look and we're going to see where this is all heading and what we can expect for the rest of your Sunday, because this initial line should move out here over the next couple of hours. After that, it becomes a question of what happens later on this afternoon. So computer is taking a little bit longer than me to get started this morning, so it is almost there. Excuse me. Okay. All right, so here we go. We're going to put this in motion, and this is going to be a 2-hour loop here that we're going to take a look at first. So you can see everything moved across from west to east, kind of southwest to northeast. You can see the storm. I'm going to stop it right there, actually. That was the storm that produced that tornado warning. Let's take this back just a little bit. Again, my apologies. Everything seems to be running very slow this morning. Let's just take this back to about 9:45. All right, so here we are at 9:44, 9:45. You can see the darker areas here, very heavy rainfall in the middle of that storm as, again, it continued to move across Falls County, moving off to the northeast. And as it did so, the rotation very quickly dissipated. We didn't have a lot of time there to really get out and give you much warning, because it was allowed to be canceled so quickly because that rotation was not long-lived. It wasn't like what we were seeing yesterday afternoon, of course. So again, back in motion, and you can see everything just, again, continue to move across. It's moving at about 30 miles per hour. So we've got about maybe an hour, a little bit more than an hour here as these storms continue to push through the rest of the I-45 corridor. After that, we are starting to watch some redevelopment down to our southwest near Burnett and Georgetown. Just a few little cells developing in a sort of isolated nature. So we do have a potential round 2 that's going to come through here. Now, when we see these big squall lines come through, it usually takes away all that available energy, and then what we're left with are usually going to be run-of-the-mill storms. However, we do still have at least a passing threat for some stronger showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, still under that slight risk. Now, the further east you go, the more that risk really starts to take over. You can see these storms are developing, but not really getting super strong at this hour. But again, something that we're going to keep an eye on here as we head through, like I said, the next couple of hours to see where all of this goes throughout the rest of the day. So I'm going to show you 2 potential forecast models here. So 2 potential ways that this could all go. So the first one we're going to look at, this is what we call our HRRR model. It just stands for High Resolution Rapid Refresh. And that's exactly what it sounds like. It's something that's updated every single hour, so rapid refresh. And the high resolution just means it has a higher resolution than most of the models that we use, so you're going to get more pinpoint accuracy. with this model. Now again, it's not 100% accurate. No forecast model is. They're based on mathematics, and the mathematics kind of go left a little bit when you start talking about chaos theory with forecasts. But what we're going to take a look at is at least a potential scenario here that can envelop for the rest of the day. So starting it at 5 a.m., because this is how we're going to check its accuracy, because these storms came through the I-35 corridor right around 7, so that will be our sort of starting point to see what we're dealing with here. What you'll see about this model is it does kind of overestimate, because as these storms came through our western counties there towards Gatesville and Coryell County, really picked up some very strong cores that we just didn't really see this morning. It is showing some sort of bowing action with these storms, which we did see a little bit. We saw some very strong winds as the storms came through, especially in our southern counties down near Austin, and that's kind of what moved into the Brazos Valley, Falls County, and Limestone County that prompted that tornado warning a little while ago. So back in motion here towards 9, towards 10. I know we're still kind of in the past. These are future models, but again, just kind of checking to see. And it did pick up on something there in Falls County, so that's worth noting for sure. So as we head towards 12:30, it does show some of those storms we saw kind of coming up from the southwest behind the main line. And again, I think the HRRR does tend to overestimate a little bit, so I think maybe it's overestimating on the strength just a little bit. But again, it does show some activity lasting through the afternoon and into the evening as well. As far as our other model that we typically tend to use in these short-range situations, it's called the graph. You'll forgive me, I don't necessarily know what that acronym stands for. That is the company that provides our weather computers is the one that houses this model. So this one was significantly less intense on what it brought through this morning. So obviously one I think is overestimating, the other is I believe underestimating. So of course the true answer is usually somewhere in the middle. So I do anticipate that we will have some more thunderstorms through the afternoon. And some of them could be strong. It's a little difficult for me because we had that squall line come through, that a lot of the available energy would have been zapped. So, but this has been a different kind of system the last few days. So I'm not putting anything past it. I'm not going to be caught unaware by this particular system as it continues to move through. So let's take a look at a different outlook from the graph. All right, so this one actually did bring the line through around 7, okay. But notice it dissipated at around 9 or 10. But it does bring that round 2 back in as we head towards noon, 12:30, 1 o'clock. And then it kind of gives us a break in the afternoon, maybe a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms later on this evening. So to me, that particular outlook is probably a little bit more reasonable, just because, again, with basically the way the atmosphere was zapped this morning with that squall line, it's going to be difficult, not impossible, I always say that, not impossible, but difficult for the atmosphere to be able to really regain that level of instability needed for severe thunderstorms later on this evening. But again, I do anticipate we will have some showers and thunderstorms. In fact, as we go back to our live Doppler radar, I already showed you, and I'll show you again, they are starting to develop a little bit back to the southwest, down near Georgetown, Barnett, and that is going to be that round 2 that we've been looking at all morning. And again, right now you can see some stronger storms. Again, not dealing with hail or wind, but you can see possibly some heavy rainfall just to the north of Temple. So Bell County seeing a few showers this morning as well. Let's turn on our lightning. Okay, so a couple of bolts, so not a terribly strong thunderstorm, just maybe some heavy rain falling right there along Highway 36, probably out towards 317. Yep, so 36, 317 towards Morgan's Point, Belco, just north of Temple, north of the Loop, just to the northwest of the Loop. You can see more storms down in Williamson County, right along the Williamson-Burnett County line. Again, just rainfall really at this point. You can see no lightning with these storms. So again, right now, again, this afternoon could be a different story, especially if we get some sunshine. It doesn't, look like that'll happen anytime soon, as that clearing line is still back towards Stephenville, Mason, Kerrville. But if we are able to get a little more heat, get a little more instability, yes, we could have some more strong to severe thunderstorms this afternoon. But as far as what's developing right now down near Williamson County, Barnett County, that likely looks to just be rain at this point. But again, heading towards the afternoon, we are going to get a little bit of heat. Obviously, we still have that southeast wind, so we still have that moisture flow in place, which of course is what these storms have been working with basically all week long. So again, worth keeping an eye on there. Our main line right now is moving through the I-45 corridor through parts of, excuse me, through Leon County up to Freestone and just a little bit in Limestone County there still. But again, the heaviest rain right now is in Bell County. You see that expanding just a little bit, so the rain actually getting a little bit wider, possibly a little bit heavier too in the core as well. So that is what we're kind of keeping an eye on right now. The other thing I do want to bring to your attention is up in McLennan County. So behind the storms, we've had some wind gusts that are not thunderstorm related. They're just wind gusts behind the storm, potential outflow coming out of the backside of the storm or from another storm. Wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour have been reported in McLennan County. In fact, in Hewitt, about 10:45, so about an hour ago, there was a report of a downed power line, a power pole that was snapped and the line was down in the street. That was around the area of Sun Valley Road, so right off of I-35, Sun Valley and the intersection of Sapphire. That came from a ham radio operator who was in the National Weather Service chat saying that he saw a snapped power pole, and again, that line was laying in the street. The line was live. So it was arcing and sparking and burning in the street. So obviously that is an area to continue to avoid until crews are able to remedy that particular situation. So that is what we have going on right now. Again, the tornado warning that we got, a little bit anomalous, as again, these storms came through and we when they came through, there was not a lot of fanfare. There was not a lot of energy because it was early in the morning. But then there was just enough wind shear in the vicinity of that area, enough what we call vorticity, to prompt a little bit of rotation within that one storm, which again prompted that tornado warning. Other than that, though, we've had just 1 or 2 severe thunderstorm warnings for wind, straight line winds this morning. And really, it hasn't been a terribly severe system short of that one short-lived tornado warning. Primarily just heavy rain and thunderstorms, and thunder and lightning, which obviously we definitely need the rain, so we'll never say no to that. If we could avoid the other stuff, that would be ideal, but obviously we're talking late April, early May in Texas, so obviously we get the good with the bad, unfortunately, at times. All right, so let's once again take a look at our forecast models. And again, I have these on our short range models, which update once an hour. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this. We're not going to start it at 5 a.m. again. So we'll start at 11:30. So again, already what you're seeing is this particular model. This is that HRRR model. This is the one that tends to overestimate a little bit. It's already got a lot more activity from the round 2. You can see all this would be associated with that round 2 that we were seeing kind of bubble up. And then I guess what you're seeing here would be the remnants of the squall line, round 1. So again, this is maybe not the most, it's kind of overblowing round 2 and kind of undermining round 1 a little bit. So that's kind of why I think that perhaps what you're seeing here with these stronger cores may not necessarily come to fruition, just because if this model picked up that round 1 was not as strong as it actually was, there would be more energy available for round 2 to use. So let's go ahead and put this in motion and see where we're headed. Okay, so it does show round 2 kind of congealing into a secondary line right around 1 o'clock. Not so sure about that. Carries it through about 3:30, and then keeps it in the I-45 corridor until about 10 o'clock tonight through the Brazos Valley. So again, a chance for showers and thunderstorms does continue basically through the evening. But again, the severe threat, it looked like was going to be primarily with round one, especially if, as strong as it was, it would have zapped a significant amount of the energy available to you. So again, our other model, and again, these are both updated once an hour, every single hour, and it's bringing in very little for this evening, maybe a few showers and thunderstorms across the area, but not a whole lot there. So that's what we're dealing with. I'm going to step off, let the radar continue to play. As needed, I will jump back on to let everybody know what's going on. Thanks again for staying with us on our 6 Plus and KCENTV.com live stream as we continue to monitor the weather across Central Texas. All right, still with you here on this Sunday. Now we transition to Sunday afternoon here across Central Texas. Still keeping an eye on the weather, as now we have a second round of showers and thunderstorms moving across the I-35 corridor. You can see it on your radar right here. Extends from Georgetown basically up through Killeen and Temple, and a few other showers there as you head into McLennan County as well. But again, kind of right along I-35. Just got a text message from meteorologist Whitney Huddleston, who says the power has gone out in her neighborhood. And as you're looking at the radar here, you see several lightning strikes in the vicinity of what would be where she's at. So again, seeing a lot of lightning strikes. So if you're in the area of, say, Salado up to just south of Temple, lots of lightning, lots of rain with these storms as well. So we're continuing to keep an eye on these storms as they continue to progress from southwest to northeast. Nothing severe right now. There is nothing in the area that is severe. We have no watches, no warnings. A few flood warnings off to our well to our east along the Trinity River. A lot of rain with these storms too. Got a report from one of our viewers, Richard Wilshire, up in Elmont, who said he got 2 inches of rain in his gauge and said there were some downed limbs across the area. And we do know that across McLennan County, there was some very strong wind that actually came in behind the storms, likely some outflow winds from some of these storms that were moving across. As they did so, in their wake, they left behind potentially, according to the National Weather Service chat, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds in their wake across parts of McLennan County. In fact, there was a high wind warning that had to be issued for a little while. Not seeing that out there right now, but that was the case just a couple of hours ago. So here we are now in the 12 o'clock hour, and we're still keeping an eye on what's happening across the area. Let me reboot this computer real quick, because it is not allowing me to jump into our weather system here. All right, there it goes. All right. So here we go. Let's take a look. Let's put this in motion and kind of see where everything's going. And they're kind of tracking right up I-35. We've had a very active pattern over the last several days, not just Friday, not just today. We got a little bit of a break yesterday, but this actually goes back to last week. We didn't get a whole lot of rain during the week. However, there were areas to our west, to our north, that were getting some very severe weather. So this is a very active pattern. Let me zoom out real quick so you can kind of get an idea of the scope of what's going on. So this system extends basically from south of San Antonio down towards the Rio Grande. You can see a severe thunderstorm warning there for just southeast of San Antonio. And it extends basically all the way up through the Midwest. You can see this area of low pressure right here kind of spinning counterclockwise there in that area in central Nebraska. And another area that, by the way, has been getting a lot of severe weather over the last couple of days. Several tornado reports, very large tornado reports coming out of there. And you can see this extends all the way down. All of this is associated with an upper level trough system that's very slow moving. And within that trough system, there have been several instances of these kind of smaller disturbances, again, slow-moving disturbances, just bringing us round after round after round after round of thunderstorm chances across the area. So again, now that I can zoom in, let's take a closer look down in the area of Salado, because again, that's where we're seeing the potential of the power being out. And again, lots of lightning strikes there. Take a look at the wind too, because that could also be a problem anytime we talk about power outages. And again, inside the storm, you know, we're seeing wind gusts that are potentially upwards of, I don't know how accurate that would be, 58 miles per hour, but definitely 40 to 50 miles per hour would be possible with this storm. We haven't seen a lot of hail indicated on radar, nor have we seen a lot of hail reports. When this came through this morning around 7 a.m., that first round of thunderstorms came through, we kind of figured it would be more of a high wind event, and in hindsight it was. There was a very, very low tornado threat, non-zero, but not very high at all. So again, not something that we anticipated dealing with. We did get the one tornado warning for parts of Falls County, but again, no confirmed tornadoes with that system. Just saw some radar indicated rotation with that for about 15 to 20 minutes. Again, to recap, this is what we got right now. Round one has now moved to the east. It is now east of for the most part, east of the Trinity River. So that is moving into East Texas. For us now, we're looking at this round two. And this round two extends, again, all the way down through San Antonio. And again, some very strong storms down near San Antonio. And this is all moving off to the northeast at this time. We're not really expecting a whole lot in the way of severe weather this afternoon. The primary severe threat is actually going to be well off to our east as we head into the afternoon. Let's take a look here and let's see if this is the right day. And again, I haven't updated these graphics since Friday, so it may not be 100% accurate, unfortunately. Let me fix this. All right, so this is going to be day one. All right, so here you go. This is what our severe threat looks like today. Again, we stay into this marginal risk for most of us along the I-35 corridor. It looks like our severe concern should be over. The biggest threat along the I-35 corridor was, again, the squall line that came through this morning. And it came through, for the most part, again, sub-severe. Did have, again, that one tornado warning that was kind of an anomaly, an anomalous situation in Falls County. That's the only thing. We haven't seen any. We've seen one severe thunderstorm warning, and that was for parts of Milam County. We saw one tornado warning. That was the one we were just talking about in Falls County. The rest of it has been heavy rain and thunder and lightning. That's what we've gotten from that first round of thunderstorms. Now, as everything kind of continues to push to the east, you can see for the Brazos Valley a level 2 out of 5. That's that slight risk. And then as you kind of get along the I-45 corridor in points east of there, that kind of gets upgraded to a level 3. So there is a chance well into our eastern counties for the possibility of some severe weather later on this evening, this afternoon, this evening. The biggest threats, again, would be gusty winds and hail over an inch. The tornado threat continues to be not zero. It is low. Excuse me. But again, remember, throughout this entire event, the tornado threat has been relatively low. There's a lot of wind, what we call wind shear in the atmosphere, which generates a lot of vorticity, which is basically just rotational motion. And of course, if you get an updraft in one of these storms that catches that rotation, obviously it can come down to the surface, and that's where we get our tornadoes from. So it is possible. As a matter of fact, the two, actually it turned out to be 3 tornado-warned storms we had on Friday ended up presenting 10 separate reported touchdowns across the area, and one of them was actually EF2 with 112 mile per hour winds. And again, our tornado threat was low on Friday, and it did end up coming to fruition, unfortunately, multiple times. Today we had the one tornado warning, nothing confirmed. Again, a little bit of an anomaly, just part of that squall line, the leading edge of that squall line just picking up a little bit of spin, which is what the Doppler radar picked up on, and that's what caused that tornado warning to be issued by the National Weather Service. But again, nothing confirmed there. I haven't seen any hail reports. We had the severe thunderstorm warning a little bit earlier from Milam County. That's actually what I was checking on when I discovered the tornado warning, was the severe thunderstorm warning down towards Cameron. And that was, again, for those 50 to 60 plus mile per hour winds that we've been monitoring. Again, no hail reports, no reports of tornadoes this morning. The storms came through, and for the most part, they did behave themselves. So that's good news. Again, for this afternoon and this evening, we are going to transition that severe threat to the east, possibly parts of Madison County, Leon County, and then east of there as you cross the Trinity River towards East Texas and deep southeast Texas. That is where that threat is going to be today, and then into Arkansas and Louisiana as well. Again, our sort of round 2 we've been talking about, we were seeing some kind of scattered and isolated showers and thunderstorms. They're starting to congeal a little bit. Basically, if you're in Bell County, you're getting rained on right now. And you know, just looking out the window can confirm. So that's what's happening here in Bell County. Up in McLennan County, it's basically the southern edge of the county getting some rain showers at this time. Again, let me turn on the lightning. Because at last check there wasn't a lot of lightning, but there was some. You can see here about 4 or 5 bolts in the last 10-15 minutes. And again, we did have that, Whitney Huddleston did tell us that the power had gone out in her neighborhood down in down in southern Bell County. So again, lightning strikes, potentially a problem out there, even if though there's only 5 or 6 that are showing up on radar at the moment. Obviously, it only takes one well-placed strike to cause issues. The other thing that we were dealing with in McLennan County earlier today was very strong winds in the wake of these storms, outflow winds kind of blowing out of the storms, moving through McLennan County at 50, 60 miles per hour. The National Weather Service saying somebody even reported potentially a 70 mile per hour gust across McLennan County. So very strong winds there, and again, not necessarily associated with thunderstorms. You're not seeing them come out of the front of the storm. They're actually happening in the wake of the storms. So that was a concern as well. We did have a report come in from one of the Skywarn trained storm spotters there in McLennan County in Hewitt at the intersection of Sun Valley and Sapphire, that there was a downed power line. Have not seen any reports that was cleaned up, but again, obviously a downed power line, very dangerous. And obviously, if the wind was strong enough to take down a power line pole, again, it could have been a weakened pole. It could have been not necessarily structurally sound. However, anything that takes out a power line pole obviously would be a very strong wind gust. So, and apparently not only took down the pole, but also split the line, and that's why it was in the street arcing. So that was the situation there. Again, I haven't heard reports that it's been cleaned up, but that was in Hewitt, again, where the downed power line pole was near Sun Valley and Sapphire. Most of the activity right now, I mentioned earlier, does seem to be confined to Bell County. Temple getting the rain right now, Salado, Killeen, down to Bartlett, up towards Bruceville, Eddy. Troy, unfortunately, looks to be missing out on the rain right now. Obviously, we all want to get as much rain as possible. And with a situation like this, where there's nothing severe necessarily happening with any of these storms, this is the best way to get that rain, because we don't have to deal with the other aspects of it. And really, again, outside of that one tornado warning, I cannot stress this enough. Again, that tornado warning for an unconfirmed, just Doppler radar indicated bit of rotation. I just want to make sure that's clear for Falls County earlier. This has all been non-severe for the most part. We're dealing with heavy rain, thunder, lightning. Maybe in some of the storms that have been able to get a little bit stronger, maybe some pocket changed, pea-sized hail potentially. But beyond that, for the most part, it's just been gusty winds, 40 to 50 miles per hour, and the thunder and lightning and the heavy rain. So again, if you're in Bell County, we've got rain, and it is going to be sticking around for a minute. So we're going to add to what are already healthy totals for Temple. Remember, in one weekend earlier in April, picked up about 7.5 inches of rain, which puts us well beyond where we're supposed to be for this time of the year, which is great news. We'll never say no to the rain. Obviously, once we hit the end of May, it's going to get dry, and it's going to stay that way for the better part of about 3.5 months. So what we can get now helps us kind of temper the losses that we take during the summer. I feel obligated to say that that's not necessarily how water conservation works, but it's what we get here in Texas. It's one of the reasons cotton took off as a staple crop, because it's a summer growing plant that doesn't require a lot of rain and nurturing. So again, just taking a look across the area, rain showers, thunderstorms across Bell County down to Williamson County and the southern parts of McLennan County as well. Let's take a look though at where we're headed. And again, I'm going to show you 2 different outlooks on what the radar could look like as we head through the rest of the afternoon into the evening. Our severe threat does shift east throughout the day. Obviously, we've already seen our squall line. As that squall line continues to move off, could cause issues for folks in East Texas, but that looks to be dissipating, and now we're kind of turning our attention to round 2 here. So by 1 o'clock, it's showing a pretty solid line of showers and thunderstorms moving across I-35. This, like I said, might just be a touch overblown. But again, as you can see, the wind particles on here, everything out west of Lampasas is kind of out of the west. So again, and everything as you move east is still out of the Gulf. So again, we're still dealing with a little bit of a dry line situation. And of course, plenty of moisture. It's been piping in all week long, and it continues to do so on those southeast winds straight off the Gulf. So let's go ahead and go through our forecast model here. So by 2:30, everything shifts east, which again, that's where the threat for the stronger storms was. And then as we head towards 5:30, 7:30, 9:30, 10 o'clock, you can see stronger storms developing and moving from north to south through the Brazos Valley. That's going to be the Brazos Valley's best chance to see strong storms. We definitely know that they will likely be strong. The severe aspect of them is a little bit more murky at this point. But again, strong storms definitely expected for the Brazos Valley. And we have thunderstorm chances basically in the forecast throughout the week. We'll get a break for a significant chunk of Monday. But we have thunderstorm chances in the forecast basically all week. So this transitions more from the severe threat we've had over the course of the weekend to what could potentially be very high rainfall totals over the course of the week, which obviously would potentially lead to a flooding concern as well. So again, as we head through the afternoon, threat shifts east, kind of takes hold in the Brazos Valley later on this evening and tonight before moving out as we head to the through the overnight hours. So across central Texas, we've been dealing with this for the better part of a couple of days, and now it will shift again more to the Brazos Valley later on this evening and tonight. What can we expect if you're in the Brazos Valley with this round as it comes through? Obviously, the things we've been talking about forever, wind and hail. Is there a tornado threat? Yes. Is it going to be a high tornado threat? No. Probabilities will actually be very low, but it's not zero. We always stress that because there's enough shear, there's enough spin in the atmosphere that yes, we could get a tornado, but this isn't necessarily an ideal setup to see those tornadoes occur. You kind of saw in Nebraska on Friday, that was the more sort of textbook tornado setup, and you saw exactly what happened. Sort of the same situation yesterday for West Texas up towards Wichita Falls, and then again up towards the Midwest as well. Definitely dealing with very powerful tornadoes as we headed through the day yesterday. Not here, obviously, but again out to our west. Hearing the thunder here now in our Temple studio. So again, not just rain, but not severe. We're not seeing anything severe right now. Just thunder, lightning, and what sounds like on our concrete roof as a very heavy rainfall at the moment. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at Bell County here. And you can see some of the heaviest rain is kind of moving into Temple right now, right along 317. Heading off to the northeast. So if you're in Temple, you're getting good rain. Morgan's Point, Nolanville, Killeen getting potentially some decent rainfall right now. Youngsport, Salado getting a break. They already got theirs. That's what's moving into Temple at the moment. As you can see, everything moving off to the northeast, basically right along I-35. These storms have done a really good job the last few days of basically moving right along roadways. Obviously, that's not ideal if you have to travel those roadways, but for tracking storms and for tracking purposes, it does make things a little bit easier. But that's what we're dealing with right now. Just rain, just some thunder and lightning. Not seeing anything severe. No hail. No terribly. With the winds, the wind gusts still probably 40 to 50 miles per hour. So that's something that we're going to be dealing with these storms as well. But that's what we have for right now. There aren't any really other updates to let you know about at the moment, so we're going to jump off and just let the radar run for a little while. All right, I want to thank everybody for staying with us again on this Sunday afternoon. Right now, just doing a quick update because I know it sounds like it's getting bad in Bell County, but I just want to make sure everybody is up to date and understands that what's going on. And right now, all we're seeing in Bell County is just a little bit of rainfall. When I say a little bit, it's heavy rain, there's no doubt, but nothing severe right now. I do want to double check for hail, so we're going to take a look inside the storm. And I don't see anything that would give me any indication that this has a hail core. In fact, I haven't heard a clap of thunder in a minute. So again, mostly just rain right now. And this is kind of what we expect for the rest of the day. Yeah, there's plenty of lightning. Just because I haven't heard it in our studio in Temple doesn't mean it's not there. So, but yeah, you can see over the last several minutes, several bolts across Bell County, right around Temple, Troy, Moody. In those areas, that's where we're kind of seeing some of the lightning. But the heaviest rain right now, let me take the lightning back off so you can see, appears to be just to the south of Temple. That's where you see that kind of burgundy color running just to the west of 190 and just to the west of the Loop as well. And west means that it will likely move through downtown Temple as well, because everything is moving from northwest, from southwest to northeast. So yeah, we do expect to get that heavy rain in downtown Temple here in a minute as well. But that's the heaviest rain across the area right now. Take a look, a wider look right now. You can see there is just a little bit of activity, just a little bit left of. Here, let me walk over to the wall so I can point out what we're talking about. Round one. Just to recap from earlier, round one came through about 7:30 this morning. And as it came through, just rain, thunder, and lightning, heavy rain for sure at times, and strong winds up to 40 or 50 miles per hour at times as well. But what's left of that, the remnants now pushing east of the Trinity River. You can see the Brazos Valley is now clear of any rain. Most of central Texas as well. In fact, if we had to kind of spotlight a single county right now, it would be Bell County, right? So let's go ahead and zoom in there. And so, remember our last scan, you just saw that heaviest rain was just to the west of 190, just to the west of the Loop. It is now right over downtown Temple. That's where the heaviest rain is. I can confirm, I can hear it on the roof. And so that's the direction everything's moving. It's moving from southwest to northeast, not terribly quickly, moving at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. And that's about what we're going to get as this continues to move through. So where is this rain headed? And again, just rain. I do want to point that out. The severe weather has not really come to fruition this morning other than the wind gusts. Like I said, we had the tornado warning, but nothing came of that. It was allowed to expire within about 20 to 25 minutes because that rotation just was not long-lived. But what we're seeing here is everything's moving southwest to northeast. So if you're in northern Falls County, if you're in southern McLennan County, this storm is kind of coming right at you. And right now it's in Bell County, but here over the next half hour or so, I expect the rain will impact parts of Marlin and Waco and bring, again, some much-needed rain. Not expecting the severe stuff with this. The severe weather threat really has moved east for today. But again, we are expecting that rain to continue moving through. So likely we'll move through Waco, Marlin, Mexia, if it's able to hold together. That's going to be the key. These storms are following right in the wake of, again, what was round one this morning. And typically when you have these storms that kind of ride the coattails of another storm, they have obviously less energy to work with. But as you can see, if you take a look at our wind particles here, if you can kind of barely see them, the light blue against the white not showing up super well, but you can kind of see everything still coming out of the southeast, coming off the Gulf. We still have plenty of moisture to work with. You can see that dry line still set up out to the west. We're going to be dealing with that moisture flow here over the next several days too. Usually what happens, and I talked about this a little bit on Friday, when you get these springtime systems, you get these upper level troughs, they'll come through, they'll pull a cold front through at the surface, and then we're good, we're stable. After that, we see high pressure settle in. We warm up for a couple of days. This has not been the case. We have not had a cold front. We've had a dry line that continues to produce showers and thunderstorms to the west. It'll shift a little to the east, and then it'll retreat back to the west. Because of that, we're still open to all that Gulf moisture, and we have been. So what when you have all that moisture coming in, it acts as fuel. And without a cold front to stabilize us, without that dry line coming through to bring in the drier air behind it, we are, again, as long as we're under the influence of that Gulf moisture, we will continue to have these chances for showers and thunderstorms because our upper level maps are quite active. We had the rain come through, the thunderstorms come through midweek towards Friday. We had that was, basically system number 1, and now we're dealing with what is effectively system number 2 right in its wake. So let's take a look. I just want to show you a little bit about what I'm talking about on our upper level maps. At the moment, we don't have a whole lot of severe weather to talk about. It's just rain, so we'll go ahead and take a look at something else. So Sunday at 5 p.m. So this is set up in such a way that the center of low pressure is well off to the north. So this is the upper level low, right? So the surface low is going to be shifted just a little bit to the southeast there. But this upper level low pressure system swept across the four corners and then started picking up to the north. Usually they'll come through a little bit further south, and that's how they'll drag a cold front. But you can kind of imagine here that with as far north as this is, not able to bring that cold front through central Texas, not able to bring us that more stable air mass. We're just stuck under our Gulf influence. Put this back in motion, and I'm going to have to add days to the end of it here because it's only going through tonight. And I'm going to take this all the way. This is one of our longer range models. I'm going to take this all the way through next Friday because we have a pretty active week set up. So that trough will continue to very slowly pick up towards tomorrow. We should get a break tomorrow, and then as we head into Monday night into Tuesday morning, what's going to happen is we're going to set up what's basically, we call this meridional or zonal flow. This is called zonal flow. I don't know why I said meridional. Meridional is up and down. This is what we call zonal flow. So usually this is kind of it's not really it's not a trough. It's not that classic trough setup where we expect the showers and thunderstorms. It's not a ridge of high pressure where we expect to stay dry. Basically, in this zonal flow, you'll get these little disturbances that come through, and we're going to continue to see those track across the area as we head through the week. So let's put this back in motion towards Wednesday, Thursday. You see another upper level trough system setting up and approaching by Thursday. This one, we do suspect, will track through in such a way that it will draw a surface cold front through the area, finally stabilizing us a little bit as we head towards the end of next weekend and into the early parts of next week. So yeah, we still have a little bit of time left here that we're going to be seeing some rain chances. And with that, particularly in the Brazos Valley over the next few days, we are looking at the potential of some minor flooding concerns as we get more and more rain. And obviously we have plenty of moisture to work with. We've been talking about the southeast winds for 5 days now. So there is plenty of moisture in the atmosphere to work with. And because of that, some of the rain could be heavy at times. Obviously, it's heavy right now. You can hear it falling on the roof. You can probably hear it falling on your own roof if you're in Bell County right now. But as we go back to our radar, you can see it is starting to shift a little bit out of Bell County into McLennan County and Falls County. And again, that's the direction everything's moving. It's kind of building in size as well. We're getting a little bit more breadth to this storm system, so a few more people are going to get that rain as well, likely through Waco, through Marlin, and then it'll track on towards Mahia. And again, it's just rain at the moment, but it's a lot of rain, and it's following in the heels of a lot of rain. So again, we do have some minor flooding concerns to deal with as well. So that's what we're dealing with right now. Again, nothing severe. Let's take a look at our forecast model one more time. Kind of show you what we're expecting here. And again, this is updated every hour on the hour. So we've got it set to 1 o'clock, which of course is just about 10 minutes from now. It's a little overblown, right? I told you before, this is our HRRR model. It tends to, shall we say, overestimate a little bit at times. And that is something that we know that it does. In fact, our other model, with the one I'll show you in just a second, was actually probably a little bit more accurate when it came to that squall line that came through earlier this morning. But what's going to happen is, as we shift into the evening hours, we're going to see another little boundary develop across the Brazos Valley, and along that we'll see some stronger storms. The expectation for severe weather, again, a little bit more murky, but there is at least a passing chance for a severe thunderstorm for the Brazos Valley this evening and tonight, primarily for wind and hail. But again, heavy rain expected, and you can see some of the cores that this model is picking up on for tonight. So again, we could see some very heavy rain continue to fall across parts of the Brazos Valley. And if that continues into Monday as well, which we should get a break Monday, but then I showed you our little upper level chart. By Tuesday, we'll see our next system start to kind of take hold as well. But yeah, multiple days of potentially heavy rain will lead to some flooding concerns. So this is what I meant. When our squall, this is our other model, this is our graph. This is a little bit closer to what actually happened when the squall line came through today. The HRRR model, the one I just showed you, showed a significantly wider squall line coming through. So that wasn't necessarily the case. It was pretty thin as it came through, a little bit slower moving, and it was right around 7:30 that came through the I-35 corridor. It did not, however, dissipate as quickly as this model is showing that it did. Obviously, we're here at 1 o'clock, and we're still seeing the remnants of it out around the Trinity River. Although what it is doing a good job of, and obviously always credit to where credit's due, it's not exact. Obviously, this is noon, so this is about an hour ago. It's not over Bell County, but it did pick up on some redevelopment of some rain showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon hours. So that is a solid pickup there by this particular forecast model. And it does have showers and storms for the Brazos Valley, though it does not show them being nearly as strong. I'm still holding on to the chance for the Brazos Valley for some strong storms later this afternoon and tonight. Something that we'll definitely be keeping an eye on for sure. And something that the Storm Prediction Center is also keeping an eye on. As you can see, that the risk for severe weather is greatest to the east. We have a slight risk for most of the Brazos Valley, and then as you get into parts of Leon, Madison, and Freestone County, that's where we kind of have that highest level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for the Brazos Valley later on this evening and tonight. So that's the area we're going to be watching. A lot of this severe threat was with the squall line that came through, but when you see that redevelopment in our forecast models, we have to be cognizant of that as well. So we will definitely keep an eye on that for you as we head through the rest of the day. For now, though, let's go back to our radar, and so we can put that back in motion for you. Okay. And once again, just to make sure I say it, I want to thank everybody for staying with us on our live stream on 6 Plus, KCENTV.com, and of course on Facebook Live as well. And again, right now we're just going to go back to letting you take a live look at the radar and put it back in motion.